Media and One Nation FM.
Right, let's talk politics. Let's talk South African politics. Let's talk Al Jama. It's a political party. I certainly see when the posters even now in Johannesburg about that local municipal election that they had contested recently. But more than that, Al Jama is now um, existing for 15 years. They had a celebration a few days ago. It's a good time to reflect on Al Jama, right? So with me is Ganief Hendricks, who's an MP, of course, and the leader of Al Jama. Salaam alaikum, and good chatting to you as always. Thank you.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you very much for this opportunity and for joining our birthday celebrations. You missed the iftar 2 nights ago. It was the Buka of the year, like we call it in Cape Town.
Well, now I know, but I missed out. So it is up to you to invite me. But perhaps I mean you are inviting me into your space now, and that's really important from an audience point of view. Because one thing is having a birthday, but birthdays are often used as time for not just celebration but for reflection, right? So let's reflect. Let's reflect on the role of Al Jama in the 15 years. Well, perhaps maybe one word that you would use to sum up your performance.
I think that Al Jama is now a sustainable Muslim political party. And that it can now be enter the mainstream of politics because after 15 years, we have managed to get 14 lawmakers, 12 councillors, one in parliament, one in the provincial legislature in the Western Cape, and also now a seat in the Pan-African Parliament representing South Africa. So Alhamdulillah, the party was registered in 2007. We contested elections in 2009. We didn't get a seat. In 2011, we got our first seat. And today, like I indicated, we have representation in 6 provinces. We have a deputy mayor. We have people serving on very important portfolios. In 2007, the reason that Al Jama entered and registered a political party is we established that Muslims are not taking part in the political life of the country. And we felt that we need to leave a legacy behind, which is a Muslim political party, later on to become a platform for all communities. As we speak, many voters are looking for an alternative party, and in the last election in Lenasia, they decided to ditch the DA and put an Al Jama ward councillor in place. The same in Harding, they decided to ditch the ANC and they put an Al Jama ward councillor in place. Now, as you know, brother, it's very difficult to win a ward seat. A PR seat is easy because they count the votes of all the wards, and that gives you a political seat. But the ward councillor seat is winner takes all. You have to get substantial votes. So we have now seen that the Al Jama is being seen as an alternative political party to the mainstream parties. And that's why I say that we have now established, alhamdulillah, a sustainable Muslim political party. Half of our councillors are outside the faith. 40% of our voters are outside the Muslim community. So we feel that that is a magnificent achievement. And the reason is not because the voters like Al Jama. They like the values of Islam. They like the charitable nature of Muslims. They see Muslims as a very peaceful community. And that's why they're switching to a Muslim political party.
Okay.
And Al Jama just happens to be in the right space at the right time.
All right. You said lots of things. I want to pick up on just to get statistic facts right here. So how many Al Jama MPs do you have now at this point?
We only
in
have one
Parliament?
MP in Parliament.
And that's yourself,
We have
right?
one
Yeah.
MP in the Western Cape legislature.
Okay, fine. And then local council level, how many across the country?
We have 12 councillors across the country. We have 3 in Cape Town, 3 in Johannesburg, and then the others are we also have 3 in KZN, and the others are in other provinces.
Okay. Now, then you mentioned that 50, and just correct me if I'm wrong, 50% of your representatives, right? Is that elected representatives as opposed to party members are not of the Muslim faith, and 40% of the voters in the last election were not of the Muslim faith. I mean, that's a fascinating fact. I mean, if that's true, how do you think you've been able to do that? I'm just thinking about it like it's almost asking a right winger to vote left wing, for example. How do you get that sort of numbers, and why would they do that?
Look, let me take the city of Johannesburg. We had 3,000 voters that regularly voted, mostly Muslims, and we got one seat. In the last election, we had 22,000 voters, and then we managed to get three seats with that 20,000 votes, and most of the votes came from areas like Soweto. We had substantial votes from Lenasia, about 8,000, but the rest of the votes largely came from a so-called non-Muslim constituency.
Okay, fascinating. Where's your growth going to go then? I mean, parties are parties. They have policies, but goodness, like in anything else, if you don't market and don't brand yourself, you're not going to be able to strike a connection to others to get that all important vote. What's your strategy then to grow the party?
Our strategy is to focus on rural villages, and we are working in 7 rural villages at the moment. In near Umtata, Mapami village has an ocean, and it has a forest. And we've convinced government to give them a fishing vessel, and we've convinced the president to actually visit that village, to turn it from a rural village into a fishing village. When I visit that village, I live in a hut. They chase out the chickens, and at night the chickens scratch on the door to come back in. So that's an idea of there's no electricity, there's no water, and South Africa has about 1,000 villages like that. But I worked in only about 7 villages. We have a team led by Mrs. Willie Letuli. She's a daughter-in-law of Chief Albert Letuli and head of our Women's League. And we're doing substantial work in villages, and we feel that is where there is a lot of growth for Al Jama-ah. In the urban areas, it is not so easy. There's a lot of competition. But in the rural villages, they see, they first of all see Muslims coming to the village. And then they identify Al Jama-ah with the Muslim community. And that is how we're getting support, because Muslim NGOs are doing a lot of charitable work, and that has a positive spin-off for a Muslim political party. And I mean, we love it. We're getting the votes.
But you're not. If I'm right, and you're quite right. We spoke to Fairuz Mohammed this morning from Sanzef, and you would know she's the chairperson of Sanzef, and you're right. Muslim bodies doing incredible work around the country in terms of social welfare. We can rattle off 20 names, right? But I take it you're not able to convince them and their own constituencies. I'm talking about the social workers to actually support Al Jama-ah publicly. Do you?
No, none of the Muslim NGOs will support us publicly. Al-Imdad in Harding, because we have because they are members of the party, we're getting a lot of support from Al-Imdad. But Gift of the Givers and Zakah Fund, Zakah Fund assisted us last year during Ramadan, but they're very reluctant to be seen to be serving a political party. But I think they should realize that we have constituency offices. These offices are non-political all over the country. It is an extension of parliament. So they are supporting parliament and government and extending the footprint of government to provide services to the people.
Okay. What do you say about the critics that say, we hear what Al Jama-ah does. They seem to be pretty cool. We like them, but I, as a South African, do not want to vote for in essence, a sectionalist party that speaks to one community. I can do my Muslim issues in my own Muslim spaces, but why should I want to vote for a Muslim-only party in a predominantly non-Muslim society?
They have seen that just like Muslim NGOs and people that serve good causes, charity knows no religion, and helping people knows no religion. And they've now seen that that's the same with Al Jama-ah. that we're serving everyone on the ground. Although we have a Muslim ethos, our policies are based on Islam. They appreciate it. We create space for them, to also take their issues to Parliament and their matters to Parliament.
But I mean, I mean, at your core, you are a Muslim-based organization. Your name suggests that. Your logo suggests that. There's a clear. And I'm not saying you must apologize for that. I'm just saying what drives you is your Muslimness, and what drives you is your Muslim ethos, and then hopefully you hope other people follow that, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, first of all, when we chose the name Al Jama-ah, Al Jama-ah is also a Swahili name. And Swahili language is the first language of Africa. All other languages are based on Swahili. But it also has an Arabic connotation. And Arabic is also an African continent, largely a Muslim African continent. So they don't have quarrel with the name because they understand it. That it means Ubuntu, it means community, and so they when it comes to our logo, the gym, they're just fascinated with the gym. It's so different. And I find that the non-Muslim voters don't have a quarrel with the name and also with the logo and the fact that we're a Muslim party, because they've had positive experiences with Muslims over the years.
But I'm going to say, and I'm going to say, as you celebrate your birthday, that there's a debate about how many Muslims are in the country, and there's probably about 1 million, 1.2 million, whatever they may be. You're well short of those numbers to attract, to get them to vote, besides even getting non-Muslim people to vote. So how are you going to tap into that massive Muslim reservoir of potential voters?
Look, if let's say 60% of Muslims who are registered voters vote for us, we'll have 5 seats in Parliament. I can't do all the work in Parliament. I serve on 7 portfolio committees. I now also serve on the Pan-African Parliament. I just can't do all the work myself. But Muslims don't vote for us. They vote for the DA. They vote for the white person. They like the white ladies. And they continue to vote like that, especially in Cape Town. You find.
I mean, you can't. I mean, I'm just trying to get that, because just wait. I think we just need a correction there. I mean, when you say Muslims don't vote for us, they vote for the white parties. They like the ladies. I mean, that's just a sweeping statement that you're making about the entire Muslim community, as opposed to say, I know these 3-4 people. I'm just trying to understand. I mean, would you stand by that?
Yeah, look, we have a solid base of Muslims that regularly vote for us. When the party started, they felt give a Muslim political party a chance. That base has grown every time by 5 or 10%, not very strongly. We find that the rest of the Muslim community, they still vote, for other parties. And we've tried to tap into them, but
I understand. But I just want to get a clarity, because I think it's an important statement you're making. You're saying Muslims don't vote for us; they vote for white parties, and they vote for they like the ladies. I'm just trying to, because we're going to get questioned about that statement.
Let me give you one example. The Dalla Umar region is largely Highlands, Gatesville, Muslim Indians, very strong businessmen, small business Indians. They still vote for the DA. And, that's a Dalla Umar region. Dalla Umar was an icon. And we have some of the best representatives from Highlands in the Dalla Umar region, people that are well known. And then they reject it, and people then look at the political party, don't vote for the man. They don't vote, for the ethos of the Dalla Umar region. And 3 successive elections, they've shown that now we're still voting for the DA.
Okay, fine.
So we're not saying that's the case all over the country, but there are a lot of regions, like in other provinces, where we find the same pattern, that we put in a lot of effort. We speak to people, we door to door. And when it comes to the vote, we see now they didn't vote for us.
Let me leave you with this, whether we like it or not. And I don't even like this, but it's true. Political parties largely thrive not just on voters, but they also need massive financial support, and they need, therefore, business to support them. Now, there's a separate debate about whether that should exist, but the reality is that is true. Okay. So who are your supporters? I mean, where do you get your funding? Like, do you have big business coming to support you?
Look, our funding come out of our pockets. The Muslim business people and those who have some money's families, they only support mosques and madrasas and education, which is fine. But they don't they support other political parties. We know of a lot of Muslims that will give the ANC R1 million, a DA R1 million. We get absolutely no funding from the Muslim business people, and that is very sad. And that's why we've prepared a special book which Professor Harun wrote about what Al Jamaah did over the last 15 years. And that is going to go to potential donors, and hopefully, they will change. Look, I get some funding from my personal friends, one or two or
Okay.
three of them. Otherwise, we get absolutely no funding from the Muslim businessmen, and they should know that Muslims are put put in South Africa to govern, and so they need to I know madrasas and Hafiz, teaching people Hafiz is important, but more important is that every Muslim must have top of his mind that I am put by Allah on this earth or in South Africa to govern. So I must register as a voter. I must make myself available as a candidate for a councillor, for MPL, and we need to then support a Muslim political party,
Okay.
get candidates in parliament so they can govern.
All right.
They're not doing that.
Let's wrap up with the question. What for you in the 15 years as of the existence of Al Jamaah? What has been the greatest achievement of Al Jamaah in 15 years?
I think our greatest achievement was in the field of restitution. We brought a deputy president to District 6, and 107 claimants, on the same day got the keys to their dwellings. Also, the fishing vessel that we got for this village, and now villages are top of mind of government. We are helping to get funding for a 15 billion rand dam in the Transkei. The Transkei was the first to join the liberation struggle and the last to get water. So,
Okay.
we also involved with the Muslim.
Okay, but I mean, you're giving me the achievements. I get that. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing how Al Jamaah grows and whether you're able to convince the Muslim electorate and those who are not of the Muslim faith, the broader South African society, with your policies, with your mission statement, with your angles, with your marketing drive in the next elections and the years ahead. But for now, celebrating 15 years as a political entity, Al Jamaah. The honorary, as you say, our Member of Parliament, Ganief Hendricks, appreciate your time, and Juma Mubarak to you and to your supporters at Al Jamaah. Thank you for your time. I think from an audience point of view, you have your own thoughts. What do you make of Al Jamaah? And do you vote for them? Would you vote for them now? You can WhatsApp 061-766-0355, but also comment on any of the Salam Media social media platforms. Like right now, as you're watching me now or listening, you can just in the messages, in the comment section, just comment and tell us what you make of Al Jamaah and where to from here for them.